Let's talk about layers and superseding strategies. In a recent video, I explained that you can throw Potemkin out of his Hammerfall. This is true, and against a Potemkin letting Hammerfall hit on block, it's a viable option, especially if you're a newer player and you haven't labbed your best punish on block yet. Now of course, Potemkin can Hammerfall break, halting his momentum at any time before the strike. If you attempt to throw this break, it'll whiff, and that opens you up to being punished yourself. This is a layer 2 strategy, meaning once your opponent knows you can deal with Hammerfall on block, or in this case before block, they can use a second strategy to catch out your first strategy. Layers are very important in fighting games, and layer 2 has its own answer. Don't throw a break, and instead wait to punish the break recovery yourself. This is a simple 2-layer strategy. But what was that I said earlier about supersedes? Well, as the man-child commenter so ineloquently pointed out, you can use PRC Buster to beat throw. But that isn't the whole story, which, of course, it never really is with this smug inner well actually types, because Kurth doesn't really want you to learn how to beat Hammerfall. I really dislike this kind of FGC member because they only serve to drag the community down as a whole. I think teaching beginner strategies is actually worth it. Like in chess, everyone learns the Scholar's Mate early on, but as you progress past it, you realize it's too simplistic for higher levels of play. The thing is, what he's talking about is a superseding strategy. It's worth talking about superseding strategies. Not like how he did, but in a better way. A superseding strategy is one where once a certain condition is met, be it through higher level knowledge or a game state change, all previous strategies become obsolete. Hammerfall PRC demonstrates this perfectly, as once Potemkin has 50% meter, both of the previous strategies are immediately thrown out of the window, because you need a totally different way to respond to all of the follow-ups. In the video I made, I did throw Hammerfall PRC, but that's because PRC Buster isn't the whole story. There is a layer 2 to this, which is to jump the Buster. And because there is a layer 2 to this, there is a layer 3. And a layer 4, and a layer 5. Layer 2 is to jump the Buster and punish. Layer 3 is Potemkin can Kara cancel break into overdrive instead of using PRC, and one of his overdrives you really don't want to be in the air during. His other overdrive, if done too close, this can still be thrown by the way, but when not thrown creates a pretty nasty high-low opportunity for him. And let's not forget layer 5, FPRC 5k is a low. FPRC back Megafist is a high and safe. It is not as simple as just using PRC Buster. Once Potemkin has meter, there are a bunch of superseding strategies and there are a bunch of layers to those strategies. I really like receiving comments. I love hearing from people. I like being corrected on my mistakes. I make enough of them. I don't like well actuallys or whatabouters. You're all tedious. And you get in the way of teaching people strategies that work for the play environments that they are actually in. Because if you're on floor 6 and your opponent has never once used meter for anything at all, I don't think being afraid of PRC Buster or any of the superseding strategies I've mentioned makes, well, actually any sense at all really.